Hi guys, welcome back to Fro School. No, welcome back to How to in 10. Today's episode, can I call these episodes? It sounds so professional, doesn't it? Today's episode is going to be about how to grow your social media following, whether that's on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, Pinterest. I want to say all of the social medias, but there are actually so many social media platforms that I don't even use or even know of. There's a lot. So primarily those, also your blog. These are kind of tips, overall tips that I think could be quite helpful. I'm going to preface this by saying it is a lot harder to grow now on the older social media channels. So Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter especially, and Facebook. Those platforms are incredibly saturated. A lot of people are already on them, and so you've no longer got that wave of people joining, say, Instagram for the first time and being like, oh, I need like 20 cool accounts to follow. I'll follow this person, this person, this person. And I know back in the day that's why a lot of people grew, because they had all these new members of Instagram joining and like following them quickly because they wanted like inspiration. It's different now though with new platforms. So TikTok at the moment is on a big time wave. Like TikTok is like this right now. Instagram is like this, coming down off its wave. TikTok's about to just hit a big, what do you even call it? A big one? No. TikTok is about to go cray, whereas the others are kind of heading downwards as they are a lot older. Like Instagram is 2010, YouTube, was it 2006 maybe? They're a lot older. Anyway, my point is it is a lot harder to grow on those older platforms, so don't beat yourself up if you are finding it difficult. Even me, as someone who's been on my Instagram, so I have had In The Fro now for about 8 years, I think. And whilst I also hit a wave and I grew a lot when I was a much younger, smaller channel, now I don't grow anywhere near to the same extent. But my home account, Fro Home, has seen enormous growth over the past 7 months. I'm already on 100,000 followers on Fro Home. I started it in August, I think, last year, so what's that, 8 months old? Which in the current climate is amazing, so I'm so thrilled that I've managed to grow another channel. My point being, there are still ways to grow, there are still ways that you can adapt in the social media landscape right now, and I just wanted to talk through a few tips on how that could maybe happen for you. Tip number 1. Consistency. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, I hear this everywhere, but it is the most substantial tip. It comes with a lot of research and a lot of trial and error to back up this point. That consistency is one of the most important things you need to try and upkeep with your social media. Regardless of which channel you are wanting to post on, I would say at least try and post once a day. Back in the day, I would post once, sometimes even twice a day when I was building up my blog. I must admit, blogs aren't read to the same extent as they used to be. I wish they were, and I really am hoping and longing for the day when long form content comes back up again. I still get a lot of amazing readers on my blog, which is fantastic. Blogging is definitely a lot harder than it used to be, that is for sure. Mainly because of all these social channels and places to get other bits of content, and you know, short form video and everything else is kind of taken over a little bit from the blogs. But for all of the social medias, try and be consistent and post at least once a day. I'd say for TikTok right now, try and post as much as possible. I'm so excited that I've already managed to grow 60,000 followers on TikTok in the past maybe 4 weeks, which is awesome, and that's because I've been posting twice a day. So always good to be consistent. Instagram, I'd say once a day. I remember I've heard tips before from people at work at Instagram that said post 3 times a day. I think maybe if you're wanting to grow really fast, it could be a method to post 3 times a day. You will most likely find less engagement though, because people are seeing your pictures more in their feed and they'll be kind of like, already seen your picture today, don't want to like another one. I think that's just human nature sometimes. You can almost spam people too much with your face on Instagram, it would seem. But I would definitely say at least post once a day. It just keeps you in the algorithm, it keeps people seeing you still stay relevant, you know, your audience see you a lot more. So definitely consistency is key. Second tip I would say is engage. Engage with your audience, chat with your audience that speak to you on your channels, whether that's in comments or if that's direct messages. I always try and get back to as much as possible, especially my direct messages. If someone has taken the time to direct message me, I will 95% of the time try and get back to them. If it's a question of worth that they really need to speak to me about, I will try and get back as much as possible. I just want to make sure that my audience feel like I'm here here, I'm present, I'm not stood behind, you know, someone else doing this whole thing for me. Like, this is me. And if they want to speak to me, then they can come direct to me. That is the beauty of social media, I think. But even if it's in your comments on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram, just get back to people, especially again, if they've got questions they want to ask you. Great to always go back and speak with people. I think it just shows that two-way street, and it's not just you behind this glass wall and someone's just trying to speak to you. And people on social media aren't like celebrities, they're just real people, and that's the beauty of it. Obviously I get it if people are extremely busy, and I totally get that. Sometimes I'm too busy to get back to any comments, but I try my best, so just try your best to do as much as you can. Third tip would be quality. Quality content, I think, wins out over everything. Fair enough if your niche is taking pictures in a mirror and maybe your head's not even on show, maybe you just want to show your bag and your outfit. It works for some people. I follow some inspo accounts that are just, I don't even know what they look like, but I follow them because they've got cool outfits and everything else. But the quality of their pictures is high. It isn't like badly taken pictures. Whether it's taken on a phone or taken on a camera, it really doesn't matter, I don't think. But as long as it's top quality, I think it will always do a little bit better. I think the audience as well also really appreciate more effort that goes into pictures sometimes. Again, I can't speak for everyone because some people may find that a selfie does much better than an editorial shot. But for me, I know that my audience seem to really love when me and Alex put a bit more effort into doing really beautiful shoots and stage things beautifully. So it'll be about keeping that top quality. But my fourth tip as well would be to stick to your own niche. Find your own niche, find your style that works. So whether that is selfies, whether that's mirror selfies, whether that is more editorial shoots, or maybe you're one of these really cool Scandi bloggers with this amazing aesthetic where you can literally take a picture of a vase on a wooden shelf and I will like it 10 times because it looks so pleasing to the eye. Like, kind of get your niche, get your thing that you love. Just try not to emulate anyone else because people see it and people know it, and if you're copying someone else's style, it can sometimes be quite obvious. So just try and get your own thing and make it yours. Same with like TikTok, try and find that style that you really like that people will keep remembering you for. So whether you want to do loads of dances, probably stick to loads of dances. If you want to do more fashion, make sure you throw in loads of fashion content in. At the moment, my TikTok is fashion based with a bit of beauty in there, and it's also got a few bits where I'm being a bit sillier. I think that's more because I love to do fashion, I love to do beauty, but I also have this kind of sense of humour where I just really enjoy that side of TikTok. But at the same time, I still feel it's somewhat coherent across all of them. So yeah, just find your own style that you like. Fifth tip would be find trends that you're kind of seeing across these channels and kind of do your own spin on them. So if that's TikTok, maybe it's a song that's coming up on TikTok that you think you could make a video to. Get into that trending song. Or whether it's a type of video. So for example, people doing these like videos of them wearing pillows right now. That is huge. And that is also on Instagram. People taking pictures of themselves in pillows with belts on. It's really cute. It's obviously this whole quarantine fashion thing, but it's a huge trend right now. So jump on those trends when you can. You never know, your picture might be then put into the algorithm of all of the things, so that if someone is finding someone else's pillow picture, they may then find your pillow picture. And then that leads me on to the sixth tip, which is hashtags aren't necessarily dead yet. I think that they come and go in waves. Sometimes they're used, sometimes they're not. I think it's always still good to hashtag your content a lot. One of the reasons why I think Fro Home has grown the way it is because I've made sure to hashtag the content I've been putting out with really relevant hashtags. So on my home account, I've been tagging home interiors, home decor, and then I tag what room. So if it's kitchen, it'll be like kitchen goals, kitchen, dream kitchen, kitchen ideas, kitchen decor. It's all these kind of hashtags that people will look for just to find some inspo. And that definitely helps. Also, you can hashtag the brand name in there. You never know, someone might be looking in the hashtag Chanel forums. You never know. It's worth doing. Same on TikTok. Use the hashtag for the relevant song. Most songs will have hashtags that people are using alongside the song. Use those hashtags. And on Instagram, I think it's hashtag pillow challenge, isn't it? Something similar to that. Use those hashtags with your pictures. You never know, it might help not only the algorithm to see what you're doing, but other people to find your pictures. I think tip 7 would be to listen to your audience as well and what they're telling you they want to see. Not only just them messaging you and telling you straight, but just almost statistically analyse your own content in terms of what is doing well versus what isn't doing well. What gets more comments? What are those comments saying? Sometimes the audience tells you a lot without about actually saying it or writing it down. It is in how much they like something or how much they share it. So just really keep an eye on your own content and the stats around it, and hopefully it might give you a bit of an idea of selfie shots do better for me, flat lays do best for me, you know, that sort of thing. I think tip 8, especially on Instagram, is all about making sure you're posting at the right times of day, because if you've got an audience that's global, they're not going to be all awake at the same time. I find this sometimes difficult myself because I've got a big UK following, but I've also got a big US following, and then I've got followers in Canada, Australia, loads of Europe. So sometimes it's difficult to know, do I post in the morning because the US isn't even awake yet? Do I post mid-afternoon because the UK is most likely in work? You know, you're going to kind of work it out yourself and kind of trial and error and mix it up. Sometimes it's difficult though because the algorithms, example, the Instagram algorithm, used to push content later, so you could have your picture up for 5 hours and then it would push it later. So it would be fine if I posted at 11 AM in the UK because the US would then be pushed it later on. The algorithm doesn't really work like that anymore. You will see your first spike in people looking at your pictures and then it will go down. The beauty of TikTok is that the algorithm on TikTok it's constantly keeping up with what is in different videos, and you may find a video you posted 3 weeks ago suddenly gets picked up because it's, you know, it's relevant to a certain trend that's happening, or maybe it was shared a few times. So the algorithm has gone, ooh, that video is relevant, let's stick it back in the For You page and let people see it again, which is great. I really wish that Instagram would bring something more like that to the Instagram algorithm because it needs to keep the content almost churning. You know, it's a shame that most content on Instagram gets maybe a 12-hour lifespan and then it's dead unless people go back to your feed. It's a real shame when you spend hours and hours editing and taking those pictures. But with TikTok, it's almost like it's being churned constantly, and if it's like, oh, it's left over there, let's churn it back in and into the algorithm. It's cool, so bear that in mind as well. So even if you're posting something on TikTok and at first it doesn't do all that well, you never know, keep an eye on it. In a few weeks you may find it reaches over 1 million likes, you never know. If you have any great tips that I haven't mentioned, please leave them down below in the comments. Hopefully you might just help someone that's reading the comments that may be looking for a few more tips. Let me know if you want me to do any more on this topic as well, but those are definitely what I'd say are some of the more instrumental ways in which I've definitely grown my social media following. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed coming along to school again, guys. Thank you for the amazing feedback on the last video. Your comments were awesome, so I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed this one. If you're brand new, please do hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you'll be notified on my next video. And I'll see you on Sunday. Bye!